So for this needs and challenges of disaster video for the module 6, there are a few questions that I'm going to go over and answer. So the first one is, what are the needs and challenges of the heroic phase? So in the heroic phase, many people are going to deny the impact of the disaster. They're going to utilize means to protect the homes, assets, stockpile everything they have in the communities, get everything prepared, try and pretend like nothing's going to happen, nothing's going to go wrong, try and overcome it with each other, kind of distant to the fact that an event has occurred. So the best way to intervene is responding to the community, coming in, helping speak and pray with the survivors is a big portion, starting to talk with them, build the foundation, build relationships between them. Moving into the next phase, the next question, the honeymoon phase can include a crash point. Describe who, when, and why this may occur. So the honeymoon phase is a lot of the gratitude that they receive when people come in, the feel-good stories, teaching them that there is a normalcy and that they can begin to go back to regularity, trying to get them in that sense. While it's going to be different, trying to get them in a normal routine, trying to get them in a normal livelihood, just trying to get back to some sense of normalcy. An intervention, of course, would be to assess for PTSD and anybody that may have witnessed the event. Administering psychological first aid is a big portion of this, making sure that everybody's okay from a first aid point of view mentally and physically, of course, making sure that all injuries are treated and everything. Long-term recovery is a big goal in this, making sure that people don't have long-lasting disorders and long-lasting things that will haunt them over time. Making referrals, of course, too. If somebody does have an issue, if they do have PTSD, being able to refer them to the right source, being able to bring them to the right group of people to help out. That's a very integral part of this stage, making sure that they are fit for going back eventually to what will be a quote-unquote normal life before the disaster had occurred. So the crash point is the point in which everything, self-explanatory, everything crashes. Who, when, and why this may occur. So it could happen to the people that were living there, and when. It's normally at a point near the end of the honeymoon phase, where they kind of just descend in hopes and whatnot. And why this may occur, it is just due to lack of people, the lack of help, perceived help. So the final question, during the disillusionment phase, fear, anger, and hopelessness can set in. What type of clinical conditions may develop from these circumstances, and what type of treatment is best to overcome them? So the disillusionment phase is characterized by hopelessness, anger, fear, feelings of abandonment, helplessness, and this is surrounded by people beginning to leave the area. So for instance, we'll use Hurricane Katrina. Let's say the people came in, people gave aid, people gave resheltering, and then they slowly start to move out. As things start to look like they are getting better, the people will start feeling abandoned. They'll start feeling like they're not as cared for anymore. So this is going to be a phase in which they start to slowly teeter off. There's less help, there's less all of that. Some interventions that can be done is providing, of course, support, any extra support, because there are going to be feelings of hopelessness, which may lead into future disorders, of course. Reducing stress and referring them to anybody that can help out. This is a big portion, a big helping point, making sure that they're okay moving forward. And then community versus the isolation aspect. So bringing them back to the community, bringing them back to people, bringing them back to loved ones, people who can help out within the community and other community members, versus the feelings of isolation that they may have, that the people that have come to help have abandoned them, have, well, quote, abandoned them, but who have slowly started drawing aid out and realizing that the people there can begin to work with themselves. So what types of clinical conditions may develop from these circumstances? So this could be an instance where anxiety re-enters. someone could start to feel very worried. Where is my next meal going to come from? Where is my water going to come from? What about my clothes, my food, my housing? What's going to happen? And this is something that the people still there have to address, have to make sure that the people do know these things are still here. We can still help. You guys we can move forward through this. Another one would be depression for similar reasonings. People are gone. I'm by myself. There's nobody here to help me. I can't do this by myself. Those types of feelings could come into they could be addressed. Of course, the people working there can provide the same help, making sure that they don't feel that isolation, that they attach them back to community, that they attach them back to other people, making sure that they feel wanted, loved, get the help that they need. Another one would be PTSD. As this slowly begins to set in, the fear, the anger, the hopelessness, they could just remember what had happened. This could be a big stressor for them. And then, of course, giving them any sort of trauma help that they need, psychological first aid, giving them the referral that they need to treat the PTSD best they can. Acute stress disorder could become induced as well as PTSD. This could be also assisting. That would be integral towards helping the people. And then, yeah. And so I have included the following resources in my response. So if you would like to see those, please go into the description. And thank you.